Ndị be anyị ekeneni m unu. Asị m ka nke echiri ya zelu. Asị n'ụbọchị nke taa dị anyị na mma na ya dịka echi na echi ada agwụ ọgwụ. Otu anyị kwuru otu akwa ya dịrịrị. Ise 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 dịka o si dị dịka unu si wee na-esoro anyị na-eme n'iru akwụkwọ na Eastern News 24. Asị na Chukwu oke abịa ma ya nọrọ anyị nchere n'ofu n'ofu. N'oge ugbu a anyị ga-ewetara unu ya bụ ishu gbasara maka open grazing bill nke na-ada ebe niile n'obodo anyị nọ n'ime ya. Ife anyị chọrọ ka anyị tinyere unu bụ maka anyị si uche onye dị na njọ dịka ihe ga ya bụ ife. Ihe a bụ Sentor oke ọ nwere ife okwu gbasara maka ya maka na anyị adịghị enye anụmanụ citizenship of Nigeria and also na Biafra land. Ife a na-enye citizen bụ human being. Amaghị m ka ihe jisi na ya enye efi citizenship ka o wee na-ejegharị ebe niile sọrọ ya. Gee ya bụ ife ị ga-esi ya ga-edropụra ya on comment n'iru akwụkwọ gbasara maka ife iche. Alright, over to you.
The school farm.
Alright, gentlemen, let's move on to our final topic for today. The age-long practice of open grazing, which involves moving cattle from one place to another to feed, is fast becoming a burden for Nigeria. A bill to ban open grazing in the country generated heated debates among senators. The proposed bill, sponsored by Senator Titus Zam, seeks to establish national agencies for ranch management to tackle disputes between herders and farmers. The bill, however, met opposition from some northern senators who described it as discriminatory by proposing to restrict herders to a particular geographical location. Pikil, please help us with this.
I think that usually when this kind of matter comes up, it becomes too emotive and common sense is then thrown out of the window. Ranching was a thing that was practiced in the past in this country.
Old-fashioned.
Ranching, not open grazing. Ranching was practiced in this country. The southwest region was very strong on agriculture. And ranching was part of the mainstay of the agricultural revolution of that era. Cocoa House was built with proceeds of cash crops. Those roads, the first that Oyo recorded, Ibadan, Oyo State, those first, in stadium that Awolowo built, the broadcasting house, these were proceeds of cash crops. Today, we don't want to even get involved again in farming. Look at Okeogun in Oyo State. Large expanse of fertile land, largely unexploited. The point is, when you create ranches, and I've seen a ranch in Dansoshia in Kano State. I even did a documentary on it. The one that a former cattle rearer himself, the then governor of Kano State, Ganduje, he was a cattle rearer. He was a Fulani cattle rearer. As little as 7-8 years, he was already following cattle. But he knows that ranching is the way to go. And he came up with a ranch. The good thing about a ranch is that it will even make your cattle become bigger because making them to walk from north to south drains them of energy, and they even become a lot smaller. But cows that are localized in a ranch, they don't expend the kind of energy that these ones expend. All the things that they need, the food that they need, the medicines that they need, the veterinary doctors, they have access, there's security, so there's nothing like cattle rustling, people coming to steal your cattle. That is the way to go. Why some people still feel that we must do it the old way is what I don't understand. And what people are saying is the lives that we have lost from constant quarrel between farmers and herders. He was talking about the Fulani and Hausa quarreling today. This is what caused it. It's not battle for land, though. This is what caused it. The Hausa man is strong on farming. The Fulani, his own is cattle rearing. But when you rear cattle into people's farmlands and they eat their crops, you don't expect them to give you a pat on the back. They will fight you, their blood will boil. So no one should oppose ranching. And if we come up, people will say, oh, this is a private business. But the senators are trying to even get government involved, set up these ranches, provide all that is needed. They are not saying that they are leaving it to them. We will have reduction in conflict, we will have improved security, cattle rustling will be a thing of the past, because the one that I saw, the ranch that I saw, they even have a police post of their own. So you can't come and steal their cattle. Cattle need water, they need to drink a lot of water. And in some place, they have to travel several kilometers to the next place where they can find water. In that ranch, water is provided. So why is it difficult for people to embrace something that will even provide higher yields? And within the ranch, the farmer can have access to manure. It's a symbiotic relationship. The farmer can have access to manure from the cattle dung. That's the excrement from cattle. Whereas they too, from the residue of their crops, the cattle breeder can get access to feed for his cattle. You get the point that I'm making?
Absolutely.
From the residue of their crops, because those chaffs and all that. Like beans now, we don't need the chaff, we don't need the outer covering of beans. But it is good food for livestock. It's good food for livestock. The same thing with beans and granite. When you harvest the granite, you don't need the leaves. You don't need the stem. But it is excellent food for livestock. So the farmer and the cattle header can benefit by working together.
Why is this hard for anyone to understand?
Our people just don't want to stop the old ways of doing things. And this is causing conflict, leading to loss of life. They are killing one another. Because you cannot come and eat my crops and expect that I will not fight back. Huh? So I think it's something to consider, because it will help put an end to this constant killing of one another between farmers and...
All right, Adeoye.
You can't graze on my farm without my consent and expect that I will be happy. Somebody planted ewedu, and vegetables, one old woman, and the woman was crying that they've eaten up all what I planted, the whole year's work. I mean...
Doesn't make sense. All right, Adeoye, is the establishment of ranches in the state of origin of pastoralists alone a bad idea? Because I think that's like one of the major issues some of the senators have.
Well, first of all, I think we need to free ourselves from artificial chains that people are trying to put in our hands. So people are saying northern senators. No, it's not northern senators. It's a section of the right way you put it. That's the right, because the person actually that moved that, is from Benue, which is part of the north. So there's only a few senators,
yes,
who are trying to oppose this. And I think the idea mooted by the senator, there are fundamental reasons why we should support it. Security implication. In the past few years, we have seen a lot of clashes that's taken a lot of human lives. In other countries, when less than 50 lives are involved, they can make a new law because they know it's going to protect human lives. We have lost thousands of human lives, because of this nomadic and moving from anywhere to just to feed, they can graze anywhere. Then safety of human lives. Then they also use, we have seen people arrested using cattle to transport guns. They tie those, AK-47 pieces, they tie them in the, belly of cattle, to bring and to transport them. So there are terrorists who are hiding under the canopy of nomadism to commit crime. Then there is the issue of climate change. When these animals go into forest land, then they destroy the whole thing. And those cattle areas, they set forests ablaze so that their cattle can feed on budding plants. So they set a whole place ablaze. And there's a lot of indigenous people are dependent.
There's a man who lost his orange plantation in Kwara State. One retired
a lot of them.
naval officer.
Yeah.
So those ones fresh budding plants.
They put fire
is good place, food for the
for them. So there is implication, for people who are forest dependent, for their health, for their spirituality, depend on their forest. Then indigenous heritage is in my village. They came there with cattle, our sacred forests that are meant for spirituality. They invaded the whole place. The second day we saw cow dung everywhere. Water that people are not allowed to fetch there because they are spiritual, for spiritual healing and all that. And it caused a whole lot of conflict in our community. So we need to protect indigenous heritage. And that's why we are saying that we should create ranching in certain areas, in states where people produce. And of course, Ahmadu Bello did this. He established one in Mokwawa, in those days. Audu Bako established in Kano. And then Awolowo established in Akono, in Akoko, and also one in Okiako, very close to Kogi State, in Ekiti State, that they even used to use helicopter to bring cattle to those areas. So if our leaders could do this in past years, what is our problem? How many cows do we have in Nigeria? Just about 20.9 million. Brazil has about 234 million cows. Ethiopia with about 68 point something million cows.
India.
US, Texas alone has 12 million cows. They don't do open grazing. So what are we talking about? So if federal government does not want to, I think states should make laws to ensure that we are in a federal country. States should make laws to ensure that they protect the dignity, the heritage of their own people. We cannot continue to live, by the standard of 18th century.
All right, BQ, your final take on this.
Open grazing is not the right way to go. Open grazing has led to so many lives lost, especially in Benue.
Yeah.
In Benue. Yeah. Look, today in Benue, I'm saying there are not less than 8 to 10 IDP camps. Some of them run by government, some of them run by private individuals. People should be farming. They've left their homes. They are now in IDP camp. That's why we are hungry. That's why there's no food. Because that's the major food basket of our country. People can't be allowed to simply walk their cattle into people's farms, eat their crops without expecting that there will be consequences. And if we want such conflicts to stop, this is one way to do it. Government should get involved. Let those ranches be created, and people. Wasiu Ayinde has his own ranch now. If you see how big his cattle are, not these malnourished cattle that are trekking all the way from northwest to the southwest.
All right, gentlemen, great insights. Thank you so much for your perspective today. Mr. Adewale Adeoye, Ikewo, thank you so much for all this. And thank you very much for watching, everyone. That's all on Journalist Hangout on Sunday. Join us tomorrow for the regular episode of the program at 5 p.m. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11:30. We are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.
Gbama na-ege ntị, anyị ekenekwa unu ọzọ. Anyị na-ekene unu rinne kunu si wee na-esonyere anyị ọfụma n'ife anyị na-ewetara unu na Eastern News 24 bụ ebe anyị na-eweta mgbasa ozi gbasara maka ka o si aga n'obodo anyị nọ n'ime ya, ana gbasara maka ihe na-eme na Eastern Region gbara gburugburu. Unu anụgo n'ihe nwanne anyị nwoke kwuru n'iru akwụkwọ. Ọ dị mkpa na onye ọbụla gere ya bụ ife aka asị onye nụrụ si mee gịnị ya kọrọ nwanne ya. Unu anụgo ife nwanne anyị kwuru n'iru akwụkwọ dị nnukwu mkpa. Ọzọ dị ka ibe ya bụ ihe a na-eme anyị n'obodo a ka enyi ya ya emene ya, maka ozi ka ọ ya dị oge ọbụla na-ekwu ofu okwu, oge ọbụla a na-alụ aka na-ekwu ofu okwu na-ada amịta mkpụrụ. Gịnị ka anyị eme n'obodo a n'ihe a na-eme ndị Igbo? Ọ bụ na ndị ọzọ gbara gburugburu, ndị ọha na eze na ndị ọzọ bụ ndị Igbo ga-etinye anya n'ebe anya n'ihe ndị a niile na-emenụ, ọ ga-abụ ihe nnukwu ihe wenyere ụmụ Igbo. Maka unu n'anya na ka obodo si wee dị, o nwezikwa ihe a na-aghọta. Akwa onye ọbụla jikwude etinye ife n'ala, and ị na-etinye ife n'ala, ndị so na ọhụụ bụ ndị arapụrụ Naijiria bụ ndị herdsmen si gị mba na ịma ntinye ife n'ala. Ọ ya bụ nke ka njọ. Obodo gwụrụ agwụ. Mana unu nụrụ ihe nwanne abụghị kwuru n'iru akwụkwọ a. Gịnị ka ị were ikwu n'ụdị nke gị ga-amịta mkpụrụ? Maka anyị ga-esi n'otu a na-atinye na alụ na wonde na alụ anyị ya amịta mkpụrụ. Ka ife iwere ikwu gị bụ onye ọma na-ege ntị gbasịta maka ya bụ ife ndị a niile ịnụrụ n'elu akwụkwọ a na Eastern News 24. Kabarụ ka ikwupụtara anyị ya na comment section below. Ọzọ dịka ibe ya bụ Eastern News 24 ka a sịkwa wee wetara ya bụ nnukwu ozi ya dị oke mkpa gbasịta maka ife na-eme n'obodo a na gbasịta maka ife na-eme n'ala Igbo. Daalụ na ụmụnne m, emesịanụ.